straight years you're playing Marquette. How is this one different? How are they different?
Yeah, obviously they've shifted with Cam Jones playing the point. I'd say that's probably the biggest difference. Obviously, we're familiar with him and just their overall personnel. Obviously, Kolek was a guy that had the ball in his hands an awful lot, rightfully so. And now it's kind of amazing that, how good Cam Jones is, in that position. Like, obviously he's a great player and he's a scorer and he's had success in his career, but like now he's, running the show, still scoring the basketball, just kind of that lead guard, but his ability to pass and do some different things. But Stevie Mitchell's been there, Joplin's been there, Gold's been there, so that they have a lot of guys that they're familiar with, but then no different than a lot of other people. Some of their, a lot of their reserves are new, but I don't think they have a transfer on their team, which is same as us. It might be the only game in college basketball this year where both teams don't have a transfer. But no, they've done a great job, and very hard to go against, very active with their hands, very good with their pressure. Forced us into 15 turnovers last year, even though we won. And so I think that'll be a big piece of the game. Can we handle their pressure and their swarming defense?
That's obviously been something Shock has done at other places too when you guys have played them. Is there something about that matchup that you think has helped expose that in ways that maybe other opponents can't, that you've gotten something from over the years?
Yeah, well, I think at the end of the game at our place, I thought Braden took over the game and played really well. And I think anytime you have somebody like Zach Edey, it changes your defensive game plan. You just can't go and do like what you normally do. They started off the game in Hawaii with switching everything. So then we just had that matchup right away. So we really got going in that game, and then they stopped with that and had more success that way. So they made a really good adjustment in the game, but it's really hard to kind of look at what our advantage is when we had him. That is our advantage, right? And so like they're not going to game plan the same way now. They'll be more in terms of pressure, and they'll be more in terms of getting into the basketball. Because when you pressure and you get into the basketball and you stretch things out, you're a long way away from the post. So like now that really gave us an advantage when he has space to be able to play. So that'll be different, even though like we still have guys that will post up and try to play through. But I don't know if that changes them enough in that area. But they've always been very consistent in mixing things up and trying to figure out what you struggle at. He'll keep finagling until he finds what he thinks is best for them. And sometimes that's nothing. Sometimes if they just come out and they dominate you right away, he just stays with it. But if they have some struggles or he thinks he needs to mix it up, he definitely will, whether that's a run and jump or a 1-2-2 zone press or trap the first pass or just get more aggressive on the ball. Just do a better job of trying to pester the ball handler.
You talked about both teams' experience. Just with the non-conference streak over the years, do you think that that's been a factor for you guys with the teams you've been able to beat and just how it's getting so historic? I mean, do you think that your experience has done something in those games?
Yeah, we just try to take it for this season. Obviously, I don't think we've been bad in our first 3 games, but I don't think we were great. You're just trying to kind of find yourself. So more, the streak's cool, but it's more of the streak of this year is what we're trying to work on, and just kind of get better. Like we got to play better than we did against Alabama if we expect to beat Marquette on the road. So like that's the thing that you have to understand, and you got to get the guys that have been there before not to like talk about winning on the road, like show them how you win on the road. Show that physical and mental toughness, and that's more for us. And different styles bring out sometimes different weaknesses. Like some things will pop up and you'll be like, oh man, this could cause us a problem, or this matchup could cause us a problem. Like other night, like we struggled to keep the ball out of the paint. I think we did a better job than we had been doing, but we still struggled at times. The ball was just in the paint way too much. And so we're gonna have to do a better job in that area.
Do you see Cam kind of carving out a niche for himself as an energy guy in the glass kind of thing?
Yeah.
That's what he did in the last 10 minutes of that game was pretty cool.
Yeah, he was quick to the basketball, but you want everybody to do that. Everybody in the program should be a rebounder, and if you're not, then you should be a great blockout guy, and your man doesn't get it. But no, it's him playing more, like exclusively so far. Like at the 4 like helps us offensively. It gives us more space because he has the ability to shoot. And I think that piece is really important. But now, like when he would go against like a traditional power forward, like if you had to guard like a Trey Kaufman, like, can you guard him first of all? Can you keep him off the glass second? And that's what happens with those. Like he serves that advantage for us. But if he rebounds like that, then now they don't have an advantage at all at the other end. And that's what we ultimately want to get, is an advantage on both ends.
You talked about what CJ and Jakari coming along defensively has meant for you guys as far as rotations, matchups. Throwing Miles in that, if he shows he can defend consistently at this level, what does it do for you and what you're trying to do matchup-wise?
Yeah, you just have more flexibility to put guys on the people that you want. Sometimes you have a matchup in there that you don't like, and sometimes it becomes like the lesser of all evils. Like no matter what you do, like you might still have that issue. The more guys we have coming off that bench that can defend and really help us, now we can get into matchups, and we switch at times too. So like no matter what, everybody's going to guard everybody. Like Marquette stuff is like too good at times. Like the way they have their ghost, screens, and the way they empty out of stuff, and they touch and move off of ball screens. Like guys are going to get advantages. When they get advantages, you got to switch so they don't get that. And then you might not have the matchup that you like, but they didn't score off the action. Well, it leads to other action that now they feel like they got the matchup that they want. So some people search it out, some people don't. But you just got to be, you got to be smart about like how you defend and how you do it. But yeah, the more people that you have that know what they're doing, those guys are learning a lot. Like Miles has really stepped up here the last 3 games and defended well. The other guys are like they're learning. Like they're learning, just the nuances and the little things that get you behind plays that you can't allow. Because normally when people score on you, it's because you break down and they take advantage of it.
When you say like know what you're doing, that sounds more like not defensive ability or skill. It's more about taking the scout onto it.
Yeah, it's taking the scout on in game speed. I think that gets it more than anything. Like you know what you're doing, but can you do it at game speed? Can you do it and process information? So when I say that, it's like they're sitting in a room with no emotions in their body, that they can talk to you about what they should have done or they're going to do. But now when it goes fast and it goes quick and it hits them, like can they adjust to that in game speed and get the job done?
Have you seen Miles change his competitive personality?
Yeah, I've just seen it like more. I think he's always tried to focus and do it and get it done. He's always put in extra time. He's always worked at it, but it just hasn't clicked for him. It just doesn't. He didn't have much of a defensive foundation when he got here, and that's a long line too. There's a lot of players that don't have a defensive foundation when they start college basketball. And now, just continue to get better, and you can get more of an opportunity. Like get yourself more of an opportunity than other things just work themselves out.
You guys have been dangerous on the perimeter, in the pick and roll, in the post with Trey. Who gets credit, or what gets credit for just the versatility of the offense?
Yeah, more like what you have. So you can look at the pocket passes that Trey gets and all the action he gets. Well, if he can't hit that floater from 8 feet off the glass, it's good action, but the ball didn't go in. So his ability to make that shot, his ability to pass, puts it in there. But Braden is really good at those pocket passes. He gets small windows and delivers the basketball. So it's your scheme and what you're doing, but the backbone of it is the skill set of the people involved. So if Trey can't make that shot and Braden can't make that pass, I don't care how the hell you scheme it, right? You got to have the players. So they should get the credit.
And then just an extreme low turnover percentage against Alabama.
Yeah.
Rewatching it, is there anything you can take from it or try to get them to repeat from it?
Yeah, well, we keep the ball in his hands a lot. So his usage gets pretty high. He didn't shoot the ball well, but I thought he made really good decisions, and he should have actually shot it more. And so that's when people play more in drops, he's going to have more of those opportunities. But no, I thought we just did a good job as a team, just moving the basketball, keeping them behind plays, getting angles in our action, and trying to get them to play. They were different in how they defended, when Cliff was in versus when some of those other guys are in. And we're that way too. Some of our bigs do different things than other bigs that we have.
Seems like you expected a drop off in rebounding this year to last year, but maybe not so much as you've had. What more do you think you can get out of your rebound?
Yeah, well, I think not a lot of it, but some of it is we get behind plays. So then we have to help. Then we got to help again. And that's what you're supposed to do when you get behind plays. Like, you got to help. But then when shots go up, at that time, we don't have good rebound balance. If you can contain the dribble and keep people in front of you and not getting those rotations, and then shots go up, you got great rebound balance. So you're not going to be 100% there, but we got to be better than we are. But we're trying to keep the ball out of the paint, but we play in a drop with our two biggest guys. So when you play in a drop, the ball's going to get there. You're trying to force them into those tough intermediate shots. But sometimes when we force people into those shots, now we haven't done a good job of rebounding. We're getting the shot we want. We're doing what we're supposed to, but then we're not getting that. But and you're a little bit behind the play, not always, but you can end up being behind the play. So that's got to do a better job. But when people just blow by us and get direct drives right to the rim, now we have to sell the farm, and everybody's got to stop the ball. Now they're going to get a pretty good shot, and then we're flying at people, so we're rotating, and then we're not in good rebound position. So I think keeping it out of the paint and trying to make people score over us will really help our rebound numbers. I won't solve it, but
With the guys you have, is the expectation lead the Big Ten or
yeah, you're trying to. We've been a very good rebounding team, even before Zach, and so we want to be able to continue to do that. When you've struggled the way we have to start the season, leading the Big Ten is pretty far down the path. But yeah, that's ultimately what you're trying to do. You're trying to have the best rebound difference in your league in the country, and we've been able to do that. But we've also been able to do that with someone that can consistently get you double-digit rebounds every night.